The Vermont Department of Corrections wants to build a new women's prison in the town of Essex. The plan is getting some pushback from people who live there.
Yeah, tonight the Planning and Development Review Board held a meeting to talk about what this project could look like.
NBC5's Jackson Stover was there. Jackson, where does the plan stand right now?
Well, Brian, Liz, state leaders say there are two sites that they're looking at, but Essex residents say they aren't ready to share the road with a new prison. Should a $97 million prison be built in the town of Essex?
So clearly incarceration is not solving this problem.
Prisons don't make us safe. They add more trauma.
Just some reaction to that question Thursday as the town's Planning and Development Review Board considered approving a zoning change request that would grant the development of a new women's correctional facility to be built at one of two potential sites. Those two sites, one off Colchester Road, the other off of River Road, the latter of which the Department of Corrections says would be better land to build on. Interim Commissioner Jean Murad says the current facility is old.
This is an example of growth that we need. We need to take a look at the existing facility in South Burlington and find a way to create a building that is going to be better, that is going to be more in line with best practices as they're evolving.
It's something that some Essex residents don't want to see built in their backyard, concerned about the traffic buildup in their quiet neighborhoods and the carbon footprint a project of this size could leave behind.
I'm kind of personally in the camp that we should be moving away from building prisons and exploring other options for kind of rehabilitation and introducing people back into community life.
Free Her Vermont, a statewide group of activists working to end the incarceration of women, argues that this new prison would expand capacity and create more beds for people detained by immigration and customs enforcement.
We're just hoping to, address the real reasons people commit harm in our community instead of punishing them and investing in downstream solutions.
The board did not vote Thursday after hearing from dozens of residents. The topic will come up at their next meeting.
And Jackson, you were telling us earlier that the meeting got heated towards the end.
Yeah, Liz, it did. The board had to be out of the high school cafeteria by 9 o'clock, something they made clear before the public was able to give their 2 cents. Some folks didn't get their turn, leading to this.
Thank you.
Yes. And I feel like women of color are continuously interrupted and stopping speaking at these meetings.
Now, despite the chants from the room, the board made the motion to adjourn for the night without getting a chance to discuss the proposal any further. This led to even more uproar from the room from those that didn't get a chance to get on the mic. Town leaders say those folks will be able to weigh in at their next meeting. That meeting scheduled for September 25th. Reporting live in the newsroom, Jackson Stover, NBC5 News.